I ran toward the operating room with my heart pounding so hard it felt like it might burst. But when a trembling nurse grabbed my wrist and whispered, "Hide. It's a trap," every step I took felt heavier. I'd pushed open the door anyway, only to freeze when I saw my husband lying there, awake, smiling, and looking at me like a stranger. Asterisk before we begin. If you love dramatic, emotional, suspense-filled stories, make sure you subscribe, like the video, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss any of my twists, turns, and jaw-dropping chapters. Asterisk the hallway leading to the operating room felt colder than any hospital corridor I'd ever walked through. My palms were slick with fear, and the overhead lights hummed in a steady rhythm that didn't match the erratic pounding in my chest. I shouldn't have been here, family. Wasn't allowed this far, but the urgent phone call I'd gotten 10 minutes earlier had destroyed any sense of caution. "Your husband, Malik, he's asking for you. Come now," the voice had whispered. Not a nurse, not a doctor. Someone I didn't recognize. Someone who sounded desperate. That mystery alone should have stopped me. But when you love someone, logic dissolves. Fear dissolves. All that remains is the need to reach them. I reached the prep area of the operating suite, pushing through the metal doors so hard they slammed behind me. The sound echoed through the empty space. Too empty. The room was eerily still, monitors, dark, surgical instruments untouched. Like a procedure had been prepared but never started. Only one person was there, a nurse with trembling hands. Her blue gloves smeared with something, dark ink maybe, or blood. Her eyes snapped to me the moment I entered. "You shouldn't be here," she whispered urgently. "Hide, it's a trap." My breath hitched. "A trap? What are you talking about? Where is Malik?" They said he was hurt. She stepped closer, gripping my arm. Her fingers were cold, almost numb. "You need to leave. Right now. You don't understand what he's doing, what he wants." But she didn't finish her sentence, because a voice drifted from inside the operating room. "Brielle," it called softly, smoothly, too smoothly. "Come in. I've been waiting for you." My stomach dropped. The voice belonged to my husband. Yes, but something about it felt wrong. Malik never spoke like that, calm, steady, like he had rehearsed every syllable. My husband was gentle, emotional, sometimes too sensitive. This voice held none of that. It sounded like a man who had just decided something important. Something final. The nurse's grip tightened. "Don't go in there," she whispered. "He's not the same. They did something to him." "What do you mean? What did they do?" My voice cracked, but I could barely hear myself. Her eyes flicked toward the door as footsteps approached from the other side. Her panic spread across her pale face. She mouthed one word. "Run," but running didn't feel possible. The moment I heard Malik's voice again, my legs moved on their own, slow but unstoppable. My hand reached for the operating room door as if drawn by an invisible force. I pushed it open, and there he was. Malik lay on the operating table, awake, calm, his eyes fixed on me. Not frightened, not confused, just smiling. A slow, eerie smile that didn't belong on the face I'd kissed for 7 years. The overhead lights cast sharp shadows across his face, making his features look sharper. Colder. His wrists were strapped down with thick restraints. But he didn't struggle. He didn't even look uncomfortable. He looked patient. Like he'd been waiting for this exact moment. "Brielle," he said again, his voice laced with something dark. "You finally made it." I froze in the doorway. My pulse thundered. And for the first time since I'd married him, I wasn't sure the man in front of me was really my husband. Asterisk, the air inside the operating room felt thick, almost humid, like the walls themselves were breathing. My hands trembled as I stepped closer, each footstep echoing too loudly against the sterile floor. Malik lay strapped to the table, but his expression held no fear, no anger, just calm expectation, like he already knew how this moment would unfold. "Why are you strapped down?" I whispered. His eyes flicked toward the restraints, then back to me. "Precaution," he said softly. They didn't understand what was happening to me. God, it chilled me. Even when he was frustrated or upset, Malik always spoke with warmth. Now there was nothing behind his words. No emotion. No love. Just a cold, unsettling smoothness. I stepped closer. But before I could speak again, the same nurse from earlier slipped into the room behind me. Her mask hung lopsided on her face, and her breathing was ragged. "Brielle, don't get any closer," she warned. "He's awake because something went wrong during the procedure." Something. Unnatural. Malik chuckled low, quiet, but sharp enough to cut the air. "Unnatural," he repeated. "Is that what they told you? That I'm some kind of monster now?" The nurse didn't respond, but she took a step in front of me, shielding me with her own body. I heard everything she said through gritted teeth. "You weren't supposed to wake up. The anesthesia should have kept you under 4 hours. The surgical team tried again, and again they said your vitals weren't reacting normally." Malik tilted his head. "That's because I didn't need it anymore." The room went silent. My mouth felt dry. "Malik, what happened to you?" He looked at me with a smile so slow and so wrong it made my stomach twist. I finally woke up. Before I could ask what he meant, the overhead monitors flickered to life on their own. Lines of green static ran across the screens, then suddenly displayed Malik's heartbeat. But the rhythm was strange. Too steady. Too perfect artificial dot. And then it stopped. The monitor flatlined. But Malik didn't. He lifted his head and stared at the screen. "They kept telling me my heart wasn't working," he said. "But I told them, I don't need a heart to love my wife." Even the nurse stumbled back, horrified. "This is impossible," she whispered. This isn't." Malik yanked at the restraints. Not violently. Not angrily. Just a small twist of his wrist. The thick leather strap snapped like it was made of paper. The nurse screamed. I froze. "Don't worry," Malik murmured as he freed his other hand. "I'm not here to hurt you, Brielle." He sat up slowly, casually, as if he had risen from bed instead of an operating table. His movements were too smooth, too deliberate. Every muscle seemed to respond perfectly, almost mechanically. The nurse backed toward the door. "We need to leave now." But Malik blocked her path without touching her. He simply stepped off the table with a chilling grace and placed himself between us and the exit. "You're not going anywhere," he said softly. "Not yet." His eyes locked onto mine, searching, studying. "I wanted you here, Brielle. I needed you to hear the truth from me, not from them." He nodded toward the nurse, who stood trembling against the wall. "They wanted to keep us apart. They thought I changed. But they don't understand us, Malik." My voice cracked. "Please." "What truth?" He stepped closer, close enough that I could feel the coldness radiating off him. "The truth," he whispered, "is that I didn't die during surgery. I evolved." The nurse grabbed my arm. "Brielle, move." But my feet refused to obey because the man standing in front of me. My husband was smiling like he wanted to show me exactly what he meant. The room felt smaller with Malik standing there, smaller, darker, heavier. His bare feet made no sound on the cold tile floor as he moved toward me, each step smooth and precise. I had slept beside this man for years, memorized the rhythm of his breathing, the weight of his arm around me. But nothing in my memory matched the figure now walking toward me. The nurse tugged at my arm again. "Brielle, listen to me. We need to get out of here. He's not stabilized. He's not even... I'm not... What?" Malik asked softly, turning his head toward her in a slow, unnatural swivel. The nurse swallowed. "Human." Malik smiled, amused. "I'm your patient, not a creature. You're the ones who tampered with me, remember?" His focus shifted back to me, his eyes dark and endless. "Brielle, come here." The command slipped from his lips like honey, warm and soft. But underneath it was a pull, like a string wrapping around my mind. My feet twitched forward before I even realized it. "No." The nurse yanked me backward. "He can influence you. Please don't listen to him. In once." Malik repeated, raising one eyebrow. "I didn't influence. I asked. There's a difference." The nurse stepped between us, trembling but determined. She doesn't owe you anything. Not after what you've become. I could see the moment Malik's patience slipped. His expression didn't change much. Just a small tightening around his jaw, but the temperature in the room seemed to drop. He took one slow step in her direction. "Move," he said softly. "No," she whispered, voice trembling. "Not unless you go back to the table. Please, just let us figure out what happened to you." Malik exhaled sharply, almost disappointed. Then he vanished. Not literally, not into thin air, but he moved so fast that it looked impossible. One moment he was 3 feet away. The next he stood behind the nurse. She gasped, spinning around too late. He leaned in close to her ear. "I told you, I'm not here for you." His hand touched her shoulder not harshly, but with eerie precision, and the nurse went rigid, collapsing to the ground like her body had shut off. She wasn't dead. I could see her chest rising in quick, shallow breaths. But she couldn't move. Couldn't speak. Paralyzed. Malik stepped over her with the casualness of someone stepping over a fallen jacket. Then he turned back to me. "Now we can talk," he said gently. My throat tightened. "Malik, what do you want from me?" He smiled with genuine warmth, the same smile he'd worn on our wedding day. That terrified me more than anything else. "I want us to leave," he said, "together. Before they try to cut into me again." "Cut into you," I whispered. "Why would they?" He touched his chest lightly. "Because they said my heart wasn't beating. They tried to restart it. But I kept telling them. I didn't feel any different." He took another step toward me. I still feel, I still love you." I backed up until my spine hit the wall. "But Malik, your heart flatlined. People don't survive that. I didn't just survive." His voice softened even further. "I improved." I choked out a shaky breath. "Improved how?" He lifted his hand and placed it gently against his sternum. The skin began to glow faintly, a cold blue pulsing beneath the surface, like light passing through ice. "I don't think I'm dying anymore," he whispered. "I think I'm waking up." I felt the world tilt. The operating lights flickered. The temperature dropped again. The air buzzed with static. And Malik stepped so close his forehead nearly touched mine. "Come with me, Brielle. You're the only one I trust." Behind him, the paralyzed nurse's fingers twitched violently once. Twice, like she was trying to warn me. But Malik's eyes held mine, unblinking, waiting for my answer. And I knew that whatever I said next would change everything. My pulse thudded in my ears, drowning out every other sound. Malik stood inches from me, his breath steady, his eyes focused with a terrifying clarity. His request his invitation hung in the air like a storm cloud. "Come with me, Brielle," he repeated softly. "Right now, before they try again." My mouth felt dry. Try what again? He turned his head slightly, listening to something I couldn't hear. Then he whispered, "They want to destroy what they don't understand." Behind him, the nurse struggled to move, her fingers twitching harder now, scraping the floor as she tried to reach me. Her face was frozen in a mask of warning, her eyes wide and urgent. I tried to step around Malik, but he moved instantly, blocking me without effort. His hand came up not to grab me, but to gently press the wall beside my head, caging me in. "I'm not your enemy, Brielle," he murmured. "I never was." He leaned closer, his voice quiet but heavy with something I'd never heard from him before. "They made me into something new, something stronger. But you," his gaze softened, "you're the only thing that feels familiar." I swallowed hard. "You scared the nurses. You scared me. Malik, how can you expect me to just leave with you?" He blinked slowly, like he was trying to understand my fear. "Because I'm still me. I remember everything. Our home, our wedding, the way you steal the blanket at night. I remember the way you laugh when you're trying to pretend. You're not upset." My chest tightened, painfully, and I remember the promise I made never to leave you. Alone, his finger lifted toward my cheek, hovering a centimeter away. as if he wasn't sure whether touching me would comfort me or break me. But they tried to take me away from you. They tried to shut me down. His voice shifted hurt, almost childlike. They said I wasn't alive anymore. I shook my head. Malik, your heart stopped. You flatlined? You should be dead. He finished gently. But I'm not. Doesn't that mean something? His logic twisted inside my mind. He was right. He was standing here, breathing, talking, thinking. But everything about him felt off, enhanced, sharper, wrong, before I could respond. A loud metallic bang echoed from the hallway. Malik's head snapped toward the sound, his eyes narrowing. "They're coming," he whispered. "More staff. Maybe security. Maybe worse." The nurse let out a weak groan, barely able to move. Malik stepped in front of me protectively. "They want to sedate me again. They want to study me. They think I'm dangerous." His voice turned cold. "And if they touch you, Brielle, I won't forgive them. You're tangled with something I didn't want to name. Protection or threat. Love or possession." I couldn't tell any more. The door handle rattled. "Open up." A voice barked. "Step away from the patient." Malik's jaw tightened. "They're lying. They'll take you away from me. They'll tell you I'm unstable. They'll twist everything." He reached out his hand. "Come with me," he said again, softer now. "Please." "Before they ruin everything." The door shuddered as someone on the outside slammed a shoulder. Against it, the nurse managed to force out a single word. "Don't." But Malik's eyes were locked onto mine, pleading, vulnerable. Terrified, and for the first time since this nightmare started, I realized something. He wasn't just asking me to leave the room. He was asking me to choose him over everyone else, over safety, over logic, over fear. Another slam hit the door. "Brielle," he whispered. Then the door burst open. The door crashed open with a deafening bang, metal striking metal as three figures stormed inside too. Security officers in dark uniforms and a surgeon still wearing blood-stained gloves. Their eyes landed on Malik first, then darted to me, then to the paralyzed nurse on the floor. "Step away from her." One of the officers barked, raising a tranquilizer gun. Malik didn't flinch. He didn't blink. He didn't even look at them. His focus stayed on me, as if the chaos behind him didn't exist. "Don't be afraid," he whispered. "I won't let them hurt you." One of the officers advanced. "Sir, get on the ground now." Malik exhaled slowly, almost bored. "You shouldn't point that at me. Get down." He tilted his head. "No." The officer fired. The tranquilizer dart struck Malik in the shoulder. His skin twitched and the dart fell to the floor empty, clean, like the needle had never penetrated anything. The security officer paled. "What?" The Malik's voice dropped, low and sharp. "You should have listened." With a single motion so fast I barely saw it, he flicked his hand. Just a flick, nothing more. But an invisible force, a burst of pressure, slammed into both officers at once. They flew backward, hitting the wall with a sickening thud and collapsing unconscious. I screamed. The surgeon froze, hands lifted. "Please, please don't hurt me." Malik didn't attack him. Instead, he stepped closer to me. "This is what I meant," he said quietly. "I can't control it sometimes, but I would never use it on you." The surgeon slowly crouched beside the paralyzed nurse. "I knew it," he whispered. "His neural system didn't just restart. It multiplied. It's amplifying everything: perception, reflexes, electrical conductivity." And Oleg's voice snapped like a whip. "Shut up!" The surgeon choked on his words. Malik turned to me again. "You see why we need to leave, Brielle? They want to pick me apart. They want to test me until I break." The nurse finally forced out a few slurred sounds. "Brielle, don't trust." Malik narrowed his eyes at her, irritation flashing like lightning. But he didn't move toward her. He kept himself between me and everyone else, like a shield or like a cage. "Malik." I whispered. "You didn't used to be like this." "I'm still me," he said instantly. "Everything I do is because I love you. Because I can't lose you. You almost killed those officers. I didn't, he said sharply. I held back. His voice softened. For you. Something inside me twisted painfully. This man, this creature believed every word he was saying. But belief didn't make it safe. Come with me, he murmured again, stepping close enough that his hand brushed mine. There's a service exit at the end of the hall. We can be gone before anyone wakes up. I stared at his hand, at the faint blue light pulsing under his skin, at the man I once trusted with my life. The surgeon suddenly spoke up, voice trembling. Braille, he isn't stable. His brainwaves show severe distortion. Whatever he feels now, love, loyal Taya, could flip at any second. Malik's eyes hardened. One more word and you'll join them. The surgeon clamped his mouth shut. My heart hammered painfully. Malik, what if staying with you hurts someone? What if it hurts me? He stepped forward until our foreheads touched. I will never hurt you, he whispered. You belong with me. No one understands you the way I do. No one ever will. His fingers slid between mine, and for a terrifying, trembling second. I didn't pull away. Because despite everything, the fear, the chaos, my heart still recognized him. But the nurse suddenly gasped out one desperate word, run. Malik's grip tightened. His glowing eyes locked onto mine. You're not going anywhere, he whispered. Malik's grip around my hand tightened not painfully, but firmly, almost possessively. His eyes, glowing faintly beneath the harsh operating lights, shifted between fear, devotion, and something darker, something expanding inside him that none of us fully understood. Don't run from me, Brielle, he whispered. Not you. Never you. The nurse, barely able to move, dragged her fingers across the floor again. Brielle. Please. I squeezed my eyes shut, breathing hard. Everything inside me was fighting itself, my love for Malik, my fear of him, my terror of what he'd become, and the small, stubborn hope that some part of him was still human enough to reach. Malik, I began, voice trembling. We can talk, but not like this. Not with people hurt. Not with you. Changing. He shook his head, anguish flashing across his face. I didn't want to hurt anyone. They forced my hand. If they had listened, if they had trusted me, none of this would have happened. Please, I whispered, let me go. His jaw clenched. No, you don't understand what will happen to me if you leave. I gently placed my free hand on his chest, the chest with no heartbeat, the skin pulsing faintly with blue light. I won't leave you, I said softly, but I can't go with you until I know you won't hurt anyone else, including me. His eyes closed as if my words physically struck him. When he opened them again, something shifted, softer but unstable. I can control it, he said quietly. I just need you. You ground me. When you're near, everything feels balanced. Then prove it, I said, taking a slow step back. Let go of my hand. Its breath caught. Brielle, show me you can choose restraint. For a moment, the room held its breath. Even the humming machines felt silent. Then slowly Malik loosened his grip. His fingers slid off mine, shaking slightly. He took a step back. Then another. The nurse sobbed with relief. The surgeon exhaled shakily. The two unconscious security guards remained still. Malik looked like he was breaking. You think I'm a monster, he whispered. I think you're lost, I said. And I think I can help you. But not if you keep forcing people, hurting people. I can't follow you into something I don't understand. He bowed his head, his shoulders trembling not from anger, but from something close to grief. I didn't want this, he said. Any of it. I approached him cautiously. Come back to the table. Let them check you. Let them figure out what happened. I'll be right here. He lifted his eyes, desperate. You promise? Yes, I said, placing my hand over his. I promise. For the first time since everything spiraled, Malik's expression softened into something familiar, something human. He turned slowly toward the operating table. But the moment he set one foot beside it, the blue light inside him surged violently. His back arched. His hands flew to his head. A low, distorted sound reverberated from his chest, a sound no human throat could make. No, no, he gasped. It's taking over. The machines exploded with static. Lights flickered wildly. The air vibrated. Brilled up back. The surgeon yelled. Malik's body convulsed. The glow spread under his skin like lightning trapped inside him. I stumbled away, tears blurring my vision. Malik, I screamed. Fight it. His eyes snapped, open, glowing bright, cold blue. And with a voice that was both his and not his at all, he whispered, Run. Then the room blew outward in a shockwave of blinding light. If you enjoyed this dramatic, intense story and want more gripping twists like this, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more thrilling episodes. Sometimes life takes turns we never expect. Every person in this story carried their own pain, their own choices, and their own consequences. Maybe you saw yourself in one of them, or maybe it reminded you of someone you once knew. What do you think happened next? What would you have done if you were in their place? If you have any questions about what happened to the other characters, or if you want me to share more about them, just comment below. I read every message you leave, and your thoughts truly mean a lot to me. And if this story touched your heart, inspired you, or even made you think differently, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps me keep sharing stories that move people, open minds, and remind us we're all human. At the end of the day, your support keeps these stories alive. Thank you for watching, for feeling, and for being part of this journey. More powerful stories are coming soon. Stay tuned and stay kind.